Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am back with yet another seasonal sign. I'm putting together this super cute gather sign with, of course, some of the supplies I've used before, but of course everything will be listed and linked below. Let's get started. So of course, here's a look at the supplies I'm going to be using today. So we're going to be using 2 glitters, shadow blue, and basic blackboard. I'm also going to be using some black spray paint, some brand new vinyl from Ahihoi, I believe that's how you say it, Ahihoi craft vinyl. I of course have this super cute gather sign and this wood sign. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take this gather sign, which I actually got, believe it or not, from the Dollar Tree. I think I bought this last year around this time and have not yet used it. So this was like the perfect time to put together a new seasonal sign. Now that it's over with spooky season, time to move into the thankful season. So I did take out that wood round and took it outside and spray painted it with a couple coats of the Color Shot black spray paint, which is Little Black Dress. I'm now just measuring it, as you guys saw me do in my spooky sign tutorial, to try and determine how much space I'm going to need to be able to create those 3 sections. I just really love this like 3-sectioned look for some reason when it comes to my like wall signs and door signs. And so I'm going to recreate kind of that same thing. I'm going to be using a different vinyl, this newer vinyl, which I'm kind of testing out right now to see how I feel about it and what I like about it. And so I've determined that this is about 13 inches, which is a little bit of a weird size. So I decided to make the center section the largest. So I did 4 inches from the top and then 4 inches from the bottom, which then creates a 5-inch section directly in the middle. So you guys saw me do this before, but now that I have kind of this marked off, I'm just going to take some painter's tape to go ahead and make a straight line so I can determine where I'm going to be putting this plaid vinyl directly in the center. All right, so I have just kind of unpackaged this new vinyl. It's a beautiful black and white plaid. And again, this is from Ahihoi or Ahijoi. I am really not good at pronouncing product names clearly, but I'm going to use this for the center. So originally I had thought about cutting this out on my Cricut and making a whole circle section, but unfortunately, because my wood round is larger than what I could fit on a 12 by 12 mat, I wasn't able to do that. So I decided that we'd go with the 3-section look that I've done in my previous tutorial for wood signs, and I'm just really loving creating these super cute signs for like all of the seasons. So I'm just cutting out a piece of this vinyl here, and what I've noticed first off from like my first impressions of this vinyl, it has a very thick like feel to it. I don't think the vinyl itself is really thick, but the transfer paper that's behind it is really super thick, which I suppose could really work in handy if you're going to wrap a cup. It really keeps things nice and tight and taut. But I'm going to show you how I have kind of applied this to this wood round and kind of how I felt about it when I was applying it here. So of course, I'm just making sure that the section that I've cut is going to be a good section for this center section. And now that I'm looking at this at the top down look, I definitely have a little bit of a Cricut tape section down there, but that's okay. It came out really great anyway. So just like I would do to apply vinyl to a cup, I'm just going to fold back the paper backing and then adhere that 1-inch section just on top of the tape line, because of course I can trim up anything and everything that is excess after I'm done applying the larger portion. So now using my squeegee tool here, I am just going to begin to very carefully remove the backing and use my squeegee tool to really smooth this on. So when I did my last tutorial on my spooky sign, I had a much easier time using the 12 by 12 sheet of vinyl to apply, and I think it's because of the texture of the vinyl that I was using from my Aisha Creations. It's a little bit different than this necessarily, so I'm not sure if it's just because this is, you know, like it's not patterned vinyl necessarily, like it's patterned vinyl, but it comes in a roll versus coming out a 12 by 12 sheet. But I did struggle a little bit and got a little bit of like wrinkles and things that I just wasn't really able to work out. Thankfully, because the pattern is so busy, it's a plaid pattern, you really can't tell unless you look very closely at any of those little kind of wrinkles and things that are in one section of the vinyl. So I think all in all it worked out, but that was kind of my first impression. I was a little bit bummed, but I didn't feel like removing the whole thing. And because this is just a personal sign for me and for my craft space and for, you know, decorating my space in the garage, I didn't really feel like it was necessary to pull the whole piece off and start over. So now that I've gotten gotten that section applied with that plaid vinyl, I'm just going to cut along very carefully the blue tape line to just get rid of any of the excess overhang of that plaid vinyl. I'll do that both on the top, on the bottom as well. And then you're going to see me do the sides, which is like super easy to do to get the vinyl along the inner cornered edge of this round here and get that kind of removed as well. I love doing this section here because it just is so easy. So I'm just going to take my squeegee tool. I'm going to take the end of it, the smooth end of it, and I'm literally just going to push that felt end edge like right into that crease and corner, and it creates this beautiful crease, no wrinkles, no bubbles, nothing whatsoever. And then all I got to do is just run my craft knife along the inner seam of that, you know, crease that I've created with my craft knife, and voila, I'm able to get a beautiful seam and a beautiful, you know, edge right there on that inner corner, and literally it looks completely flawless. So I'm just going to do that on the other side. Then we're going to go ahead and remove the tape from the top and the bottom. Originally, I thought I was going to glitter inside of the round, but I decided against it since we're going to glitter the gather sign. So let's go ahead and just remove any bubbles with just my craft knife, remove the blue tanner's tape, and then we can go ahead and move on to working on the next section. So now I'm just going to take some black, not black washi tape. I'm taking some silver metallic washi tape that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I am just going to use that to line the edges of the plaid vinyl just to give it that pop and separate it from the rest of the aesthetic design of the wood sign here. So just applying that directly to the edge of that vinyl there, and then again on the top section. I would recommend going over your washi tape with polyacrylic or some sort of sealer, even Mod Podge, because that'll dry clear, especially if you're going to be like me and not apply resin or epoxy inside of your round. Obviously, if you're going to end up, you know, putting the resin or epoxy inside the inner portion of this round, then that would help seal everything in. But washi tape does tend to lift, especially on wood for whatever reason. So I definitely would recommend just doing something to kind of make sure it stays down. So now we're going to be adding a little bit of bling. And I kind of decided this last second when I decided that I didn't want to do glitter on the wood round section. And so I'm just using these little kits that I got off of Amazon that you literally can purchase for your nails. I chose 2 of the smaller size. I'm not 100% sure exactly what size they are. They do look like 2mm or 3mm stones, if I'm honest. And so I just have both black and crystal, and I'm going to use my crystal glaze glue to just put kind of random dots, if you will, throughout the top section and the bottom section of the round. And then I'm just going to apply my stones kind of sporadically, kind of interchanging the crystal with the black and vice versa. And then I'm going to literally repeat the same thing with the bottom section. I did think about, and I really wish I had a beautiful like pearl mix, because that would have looked so beautiful for the outer edge of the round. But unfortunately, I don't have any half pearls, but I do love how this is coming together. So we're going to let that dry for 24 hours and then come back and do the sign. So with the gather sign, I did take it outside and spray paint it with a like light gray spray paint. It's a Rust-Oleum paint, and I'll make sure to list the color down in the description box below in case you want to grab this up. Any paint really will do. I did have to do 3 or 4 coats on this sign just because the wood that is used for this is much more porous, and so I had to do quite a few coats in order to get like a solid gray look. But now I'm going to go in with my Mod Podge and a fluffy brush and get all of the glue kind of all pasted on there, a nice pretty thick coat, because I'm going to attempt an ombre, and ombres are not my strong suit when I'm using Mod Podge. I am much better at them when I'm using the epoxy method, but I didn't really feel like I needed to mix up epoxy for something so simple as this wood sign. So I'm going to finish by just brushing on that Mod Podge, pretty decent coat there because I only want to do 1 coat of glitter, and now we're going to go into the glitter portion. So the first glitter I'm using is Shadow Blue, which is a beautiful like blue metallic almost silver glitter from my Aisha Creations, and we're gonna go in with that over kind of like the top half of this gather. And so what I'm trying to do is create a little bit of an ombre, because we're gonna ombre this into a black glitter. So once I'm done with Shadow Blue, I'm gonna set that aside, get that picked up, and now we're gonna go in on the opposite side with Basic Blackboard, which is a very fine cut of black glitter from Peachy Olive Glitters. You definitely could use, you know, a little bit of a black with a little bit of white glitter in it to give it a little bit more shimmer, but because I wasn't going to be putting this under epoxy, I knew that I still would get all of the sparkle and shine with that black glitter, because I wasn't going to be putting anything over it, which would potentially then kind of dull the black glitter shine. So I'm just going to do any sort of touch-ups because, again, one coat of glitter is the name of the game. And then I'm going to let this dry and take this outside to spray seal it with clear gloss spray paint. And just like that, we are on to final touch-ups of this wood sign. So I have these flowers that I've actually just used for like my props for when I am filming or photographing tumblers. And so they're literally just different flowers that I've gotten from the dollar store. No need to go all crazy. So I've just got like these two little white flowers and this black rose that I'm just going to use to create a little bit of, you know, a floral look at the top here. I think I might end up going in and looking for like a glitter tool of some sort in black to do a cute bow on the bottom too, but I'm just going to hot glue those on. And now it's time to attach the glittered gather section to this wood round. So because the gather sign, you know, the gather wording is a little bit larger than the round, this is actually going to sit or live directly on top of the edges of this round. So I'm just going to get it placed in a section that I know is going to be kind of even and middle, and literally just put a little bit of hot glue right on top of that edge, do a little bit of hot glue on the other side under the G, push down, give that a few seconds to dry, and literally that is it. So easy peasy, got this done in just a couple of hours, and it really came out so cute. So here's a final look at the wood sign. I do hope that you guys did enjoy today's tutorial. Let me know if you want to see a Christmas themed one or a holiday themed one as we get into that season. Be sure if you loved today's video to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!